Welcome back to High Stakes. Elevate your game by subscribing to our channel so you never miss our daily content. For exclusive access to our premium betting picks, join our Patreon. Find the link in the comments section below. Stay ahead with High Stakes. Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus Detroit Lions. Detroit is the better team, but I have confidence in the Bucs to keep this within a one-score game at the end of the day. Detroit managed to scrape by the Rams with an overtime victory, and the Bucs are arguably better on defense. I don't trust the Buccaneers with their run game even if they are to establish a lead at some point in the second half. Not much was done to improve that factor between this year and last year, and the Lions have proven to be able to come back with fury. I have more faith in the Lions obtaining a lead before the Bucs will have to rely more on the passing attack to save time and keep themselves in the game. In last year's playoff game, the Lions were favored by 6 points and they won by 8. I believe this game will yield a similar result, but with the Lions winning by around 6 to 7 points, ensuring the Bucs cover the spread. The Bucs have a much better run defense than passing defense, especially with the loss of Carlton Davis, who coincidentally is on the Lions now. I expect the Lions to get Amon-Ra St. Brown more involved in this game, and when the run game struggles a bit, they will result to giving the ball to their playmakers in Jameson Williams and St. Brown. The Buccaneers don't have as great of a rushing attack, so I expect them to pass the ball much more in the second half, and it will lead to more points scored. If the Lions are up by a couple of scores, I will expect them to be a bit more passive on defense and open the game up for the Bucs just enough to cover the over. Overall, both teams will rely on the pass a bit more in this game, and I wouldn't be shocked if the Lions can put up 30+ while the Bucs do enough to hit the over and cover the spread. Seattle Seahawks versus New England Patriots. The Patriots were dreadful against the spread in front of the home crowd last season, winning only twice in 9 tries and going 1-4 down the stretch. Conversely, Geno Smith and the Seahawks were effective while away from Seattle, losing once in their final 4 games. The Seahawks have a significant edge on offense in this matchup, ranking in the middle of the pack in points scored per game last season versus a dead last ranking for the Patriots, who scored only 13.9 points per game. New England failed to exceed 17 points against the opposing team's defense in their final 5 games at Gillette. They scored only 16 points in Week 1, so look for the Seahawks defense to limit the Patriots' opportunities to score throughout the contest. While both squads are still breaking in new head coaches, the Patriots' new quarterback and revamped receiving core are still trying to find their footing, while Geno Smith and several key pieces of the offense have several years of experience playing as a unit. The Seahawks have won outright and covered against the spread in their previous 2 matchups with the Patriots, including a 35-30 victory the last time they met. The stats and trends strongly support a Seattle victory on the road against the Pats on Sunday. Take the Seahawks giving the points. The Seahawks pushed or went under the point total in 4 of their final 5 games of 2023. They also pushed or went under in their last 3 away games. The Seattle defense limited their opponents to 20 points or less in their final 2 games on the road. The Patriots went under the point total in 4 of their previous 5 games at Gillette Stadium and failed to exceed 17 points in 5 straight at home. They were shut out twice at home during the 2023 campaign. They went under the point total in their first game of 2024. The Patriots had one of the weakest offenses in the NFL last year, and they are not projected to improve much this year. They finished near the bottom of the league in several key offensive categories, including total offense, and they finished dead last in average points per game with 13.9. Seattle also finished in the bottom half of the league in multiple offensive categories, so the odds either team scores quickly in bunches are low. New England's defense was a strength last year, ranking in the top 10 in yards per game allowed and holding their opponents to an average of 21.5 points. They limited their first week opponent to just 10 points. Most signs point to a lower scoring affair at Gillette on Sunday. Take the under. Los Angeles Rams versus Arizona Cardinals. The sportsbooks make this game roughly a pick-em, listing the Cardinals as a slight 1.0 point favorite. Likely, this tight line is a direct result of all of the injury issues that the Rams are dealing with. With that being said, I think we're getting a bargain of a price to back the Rams in this spot. Los Angeles has absolutely big brothered Arizona over the last decade, going 13-2 SU in their last 15 meetings. Sean McVay knows exactly how to scheme against Kyler Murray, as he's held Murray to a 1-7 record against the Rams. Personnel changes over the years, but that clearly doesn't have an impact on McVay's game plan against Murray and Cardinals. Really, it doesn't matter who's on the field for the Rams in this game. As long as the trio of Matthew Stafford, Cooper Kupp, and Sean McVay are working together, they're a threat to win a football game. I mean, they were depleted last weekend and mounted a 14-point comeback against the Lions team that many are touting to go to the Super Bowl. Imagine what they'll do against an Arizona defense that brings in the worst secondary in the NFL, per PFF. Let's not overthink this one, let's ride with the Rams. Maybe I'm crazy, but I'm going to play the under in this contest. As much as I think Los Angeles will be able to pull out a victory, it might be tough sledding for their offense at times. They have at least 4 of their better offensive linemen listed with an injury. That's bound to have some impact on them, even though they're taking on a dreaded Arizona defense. On the flip side, I'm not convinced that Arizona's offense is good. Kyler Murray continues to be an overrated quarterback, and simply adding rookie Marvin Harrison Jr. to the mix isn't going to solve anything. Harrison had just 1 catch for 4 yards last weekend. Maybe the Cardinals will take a page out of the Lions' playbook and run the ball continuously at the Rams. That was clearly one of Los Angeles' biggest issues last weekend in Detroit. With that being said, Arizona's offensive line is a bottom-tier unit, while Detroit's is the best in the NFL. I anticipate them trying to establish the run, but maybe not finding a ton of success with it. That should be great for us as underbettors, since the clock will churn without the ball moving up the field. Ultimately, I think we're in for a 24-20 or 21-17 kind of game in the desert. I'm taking the under. Pittsburgh Steelers versus Denver Broncos. The Steelers go on the road against the Broncos on Sunday in Week 2. It will be the first home game for rookie Bo Nix, but I think it is going to be another tough outing for the Oregon man. Nix's only touchdown came in the final minutes last week against Seattle. The defensive front, led by T.J. Watt, is much better for the Steelers. Watt and the rest of the defense destroyed the Falcons in last week's win. They should be able to do it once again versus a rookie quarterback and a running back committee that couldn't do anything against Seattle. Pittsburgh's offense will most likely be led by Justin Fields, who did enough to lead the team to a win. He will need to put up touchdowns rather than just field goals, but Najee Harris looked strong at times and will be a key factor in Week 2. Nix will struggle in this game, and Fields' experience will be just enough to see the AFC North team over the line on the road. Take the Steelers to cover. The two teams struggled to score touchdowns last week. They combined for 9 field goals and just 1 touchdown last week. The defense for both teams looks to lead in Week 2. The quarterback play was questionable at times, and the defensive line for both teams will take advantage on Sunday. Expect another low-scoring game where defense wins it. Take the under on Sunday. Cincinnati Bengals versus Kansas City Chiefs. You never want to overreact from just one game, but wow, that was a pitiful performance from the Bengals in Week 1. Losing outright at home to the lowly Patriots, while going just 4-11, 36.4% on 3rd down and 0-1, 0% on 4th down, yikes. I'm not sure the offensive woes are going to get fixed in just a week. Cincinnati lost W.R. Tyler Boyd and R.B. Joe Mixon in the offseason, and W.R.T. Higgins, hamstring, didn't practice on Thursday. This could be a nightmare situation against the back-to-back champs, who also have a rest advantage in the game. On the flip side, the Chiefs were extremely efficient in their opening game, and it looks like they're going to be a serious threat this year. With Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy, and potentially Hollywood Brown returning, Kansas City's offense has plenty of deep threats to stretch the field vertically. This, and reliable receiving in general, was a major issue with the offense last year. With the new additions, I think this offense is poised for another big day at the office. I'm not too nervous about laying this many points since the Chiefs' offense is looking dynamic once again. I think this total is about 4.0 points too high. Even at 44.0 points, I probably still consider taking the under. In the last 10 meetings between the teams, the under is 8-2. In Kansas City's last 20 home games, the under is 16-4. Their defense performs better when playing at Arrowhead, which is widely regarded as one of the loudest stadiums in the league. I'm fully expecting another playoff-type atmosphere in this game. That's typically the way that it has gone in the last several meetings between Zach Taylor and Andy Reid. We may see a lot of power running in this game between Zach Moss and Isaiah Pacheco. For the Bengals, I think it's paramount that they establish the run. With the departure of Tyler Boyd, injury to T. Higgins, questionable, and Jamar Chase not having a training camp to get ready for the year, this passing offense is nowhere near what will be needed to compete in this game. Let's lock in the under at this inflated number of 48.0 points. Chicago Bears versus Houston Texans. While the Bears' defense is projected to be better this season, they were given a pretty short order in Week 1. Houston will be a much better offense, and they have various weapons to attack in different ways. The Bears' offense was underwhelming, and we should expect Williams to take some time to settle in. Given DeMeco Ryan is one of the sharpest defensive minds in the game, he will get Houston's defense right while also befuddling Williams under center. Take Houston minus 6.5 points. Until proven, we will pay to see the Bears' offense regularly cross the 17-point hump. The defense accounted for 2 touchdowns last week, and we should not expect them to find that same success here, even if they can cut the Texans' drive short. The Bears struggled immensely on 3rd down last week, and it remains to be seen if the pass protection on this front 7 will hold up, ultimately resulting in the Bears' drives ending in punts. Take the under here. Take under 45 points.